The wait is finally over, guys. The brand new flex miter saw. Let's check it out and see what this thing's got. So full disclosure, guys, we did not buy this saw. Flex sent this to us for us to check it out and give a full review. Now you guys know that all the Flex tools we've reviewed, we've had good things to say about it. That has nothing to do with them sending us tools. That has to do with the fact that these are top-notch tools. We have no reason to believe this will be any different, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna break this down into 3 categories: construction, features, and performance. So let's dive into construction first. So right off the bat, this thing weighs about 48 pounds without the battery. It is a beefy saw, and there's not very much plastic on it, which I really like. All of the moving parts, all of the table, the fence, all the rods, they're all solid metal. And they're not thin metal either. They have good bracing on the back, and they make you really feel solid when you're putting a fat piece of wood up here to cut. One thing I really like about this is that all of your adjustments are metal. Your sliding fence, your sliding table, and the clearances are super tight. Once you lock this thing into place, there is zero wiggle, there's zero deflection on any of the moving parts, which to me really kind of speaks to the quality of the construction of this saw.
Okay, now let's go over the features. This thing has got a boatload of features. Let's try and hit them all. So the blade on this thing is 12-inch, 60-tooth general purpose blade. Our experience is most of the Flex tools that we've got come with really good stock blades, and this is no different. So I've had a bunch of saws over the years, guys, and one thing that was common with all those saws, changing the blade is a pain. One of the things I really like about this, it's got a shaft lock, super easy. It's got an Allen key that comes with it. It's built right into the base, so it makes it really easy to change the blade. So guys, if you like our videos and you find value in what we do, hit that subscribe button and that little bell icon so you get notified. We're putting out tons of stuff. We got great videos coming up. You don't want to miss anything. So do us a favor, hit that button.
Now it comes with 2 options as far as dust collection goes. It comes with the bag that you can just put on the back of the saw, and it also comes with a port that you can connect your dust collection to. Now you guys know we don't really use dust collection very often, but I gotta say I'm actually really impressed with how well that the chute collects the sawdust and throws it back into the bag. It actually picks up a lot more than you would think for not having a vacuum attached to it. I really like the depth stop on this thing because it gives you a few options. You flip this little lever up and that allows you to stop your depth wherever you want to adjust it, but then you don't have to back that screw out in order to make a full cut again. All you have to do is flip the lever back down and you can cut to full depth again. So you can adjust the depth wherever you want it, but you don't have to keep moving that bolt back and forth in order to cut full depth.
So now we have the miter adjustments. So this thing will swing all the way 52 degrees to the left and 61 degrees to the right. It has a whole bunch of positive stops at common angles that you guys might use, especially if you're doing crown molding, that kind of thing. But it also has a cool feature that is the lock on the handle, so you can set it at whatever angle you need it to and it locks in place. The miter gauge on this thing is really easy to read, black and silver. It also has a feature where you can fine tune this thing in case it's off a little bit and you want it dead square. It's easy to make that adjustment. So the handle on this thing is pretty cool. It works great on the left or on the right, so it's ambidextrous that way, but it also has this little lock-off lever where you can't just pull the main switch. So there's different kinds of double switches on every saw. This one, I like that little lock-off lever before you pull the main switch. That way it's nice and safe.
So I love the bevel adjustment on this saw. It's got like this 3-stage handle. You loosen it to take it to your positive stops, which it has quite a few for really common angles. But then you pull it a little bit farther past that and you can move it to wherever you want and lock it back into place. So it has an adjustable table on both sides, and the fence is adjustable on both sides as well. And what I really like about this is that these clearances are so tight. There's no wobble, there's no shakiness. Even when they're unlocked, there's very little. Once they're locked into place, they are just as solid as you can get. Now I know a lot of saws now are coming with material hold down clamps, but our last one didn't have it, so we're pretty excited about this. The hold down clamp, first of all, it's nice that it's knurled and it uses pressure to stay in place, but it's also really nice that it's not a channeled piece. So when you're not using it, you can just swing it out of the way and it'll stay in there. That way you're not gonna lose it if you're not using it for that particular cut.
A lot of saws that I've seen in the past have a laser that tells you where the cut is going to be. This one's a little bit different. This has got a shadow. So that shadow line lines up perfectly where the cut is going to be made. So the shadow light comes on immediately as soon as you pull the trigger, but it also has a separate button if you want to see where that shadow is going to be without even turning the saw on.
So for this testing, we're actually running this off the 5 amp hour battery. Now, this has the ability to plug into the wall, just like the table saws. You can buy separately, at least we think it's going to come separately. We're not 100% sure yet, but you can buy the 24 volt adapter that goes into the miter saw and each one of the table saws they have for all day use. So you can actually just plug it into the wall and keep going. And it's really, really nice to have the option of battery operated or plugging it into an outlet.
Let's talk about performance. This thing, we cut hardwood, we cut 4x4s, we cut 2x4s, we cut plywood, everything, it just pretty much plowed right through it. Now from a specific standpoint, it'll cut a full 14 inches wide and it'll cut 3 9/16 deep when the miter is set at 0. All the other specs set at 45s in all the angles. We'll put a screenshot of all of those specific specifications right here so you guys can just take a screenshot of it so you'll know what everything will cut at. What I was really happy about is whether I was cutting through an ugly 4x4 or I was cutting plywood, really had no difference in power. Even with just our 5 amp hour battery, it plowed through that stuff like it wasn't even there. If we were plugged into the wall, it might have even more power. So this thing is definitely high performance. There you go, guys. We love this thing. Honestly, I was really shocked at how easy it was to use. It just didn't take an engineering degree to figure all this stuff out. Everything was pretty much self-explanatory.
Not only that, it really works great, and everything on this saw is super smooth. All of the bevel, all of the miter adjustments, the sliding miters, everything just works really smooth. You don't have to be a freaking bodybuilder in order to make any adjustments. It just works great. I don't really think there's anything bad to say about the saw.
No, it really is more than what I had hoped for. I knew it was going to be a good saw because everything that we've used for Flex, quality products, but it's even better than I thought it was. So this thing is 2 thumbs up for me, for sure.
Yeah, same here, guys. So as always, if you have any questions, be sure to shoot us an email, Ryan@makeawoodsign.com.
Eric@makeawoodsign.com.
And we'll see you guys on the next one.
Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.